Welcome to the Windows and Computer channel, and this has to do with speed of your computer. And of course, that is a big subject of discussion because people use their computers, and over the years, computers will tend to slow down slowly. They will have more difficulty running what you did fine a couple of years ago. And part of the people running these PCs think that there's a magical way of making them, good and fine and fast again. Here's the thing about PCs is that they do age and they do have more difficulty running modern software and newer technologies, browsers, programs all do more as time goes by, and often that means doing things they weren't meant to do at the beginning, and so it slows down the PC. There is a subset of PCs that once they are very slow, you can't do much to actually make them more efficient. And when your PC has passed the 6 or 7 year mark, it's more and more difficult to have your PC running a little faster. So, are there things you can do and try? Yes, absolutely. The number one thing that will make your PC faster, if you haven't reinstalled Windows in your PC in years, that will definitely have an effect. Erasing everything, starting from scratch, just like a new PC, is one of the things that might actually be nice. And one of the reasons behind this is that, Windows itself will, of course, over years of use, become slower because of a bigger registry and, all the stuff that you did and that, made Windows do this, do that, load new software, have these background processes running all the time. So more and more processes are running. A clean install puts Windows at its basics, and often that is a pretty good speed boost. So that's one thing you would probably have a good chance of having a faster PC. Resist installing unuseful software. Don't install Windows from scratch and start downloading a million programs. You'll slow it down again. Just think of what is exactly do you need and stick to the minimum on your PC, especially if it's older. The other thing that you might want to check out is RAM memory. One of the biggest performance problems over the years that I've seen was the fact that people just didn't have enough RAM. So here I've got 16 gigabytes on this PC. And if you are at 4 or less, you will definitely see an improvement in Windows 10 you having 8 or more. That's the first thing you need to check out. 8 or more. If you have 4 or less, your computer is hogged. That means that because it doesn't have enough space in memory, it needs to use a hard drive to compensate. And that slows it down terribly. So RAM memory, that's a very good way of making it faster. A little investment that might actually surprise you. If you have enough RAM memory, 8 or more, and your PC is 5-6 years old, you reinstall Windows, one of the things you might try is if you have an old hard drive, why not replace it with an SSD, a solid state drive? It's very surprising how fast a PC becomes using a more modern technology. There are solid state drives that adapt even to the old standards, even if you don't have a modern PC that has, M.2 and some stuff like that. There are some SSD drives designed to fit in the same slot, the SATA slot that you have in the laptop, for example. So that could be a nice improvement. These are things you can do that will definitely help out. But overall, think about it. Your PC gets older and gets older. Before investing hundreds of dollars in making an old PC better, maybe you need to think what's next and invest in something else. There's a limit to the investments on older hardware. And think about the fact that the older the PC, the higher the risk that it might fail at some point also. Although PCs run really well and usually have no problems, they're not, 100% good forever. They will actually fail at some point. The older they are, of course, the more possibility about failing. One last little thing I would say, make sure that it actually is cool. If it runs too hot, it slows down. Most processors will slow down the PC because it's too hot to generate less heat. Make sure all the vents, make sure that the airflow through the PC is good. Make sure that your fan isn't running at 100% all the time. This also can slow down your computer. So these are all things that you want to check out. And there is a possibility that even a 5 or 6 year old PC can actually become rather fast and rather performant even after 5 or 6 years. It's not a given that you have to buy a new PC all the time. It also depends on the generation of the PC and what the PC was like at its beginning, for example. I have an example here. I have an old Core i5 computer from Toshiba that is about 7 years old. And I reinstalled Windows from scratch and haven't done that in at least 2 to 3 years in that machine. I can tell you I see the difference in performance. It's so much faster than it was. But of course, if you compare it to a new machine, like my gaming machine, it does drag. It does feel slow. But it is still, for most people, probably fine. And that's something to check out. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe, give us a thumbs up. Thank you for watching.